Welcome to the Trading Lounge and the Indices report. And today, starting with the European markets because of the Greece deal, which I believe has still got a lot of small things to work out. So yes, it is sort of done, but there's still a lot of things that need to be met to fulfill both sides of the contract. I'm not a full book on it, but it's sort of stable, but it's still very iffy as well. So it's still going to be a headline-driven market as such, but the way we sort of see it, or the way I see it, is that that this move down through here is actually corrective, and some markets display that corrective pattern better than others, and so on. The other point in terms of trading long, what we need to see is an impulse wave in the opposite direction of the correction. So if this is the correction here, we need to see a 5-wave structure here, which we've got, which is falling into place. Now, the second thing that would be looking for is support on 11,500. as that's the medium level and also happens to be the balance within the correction here, roughly speaking. So I would expect some sort of corrective pattern to occur at above the 11,500 here, okay? And I'd be viewing this as that if wave 4 is in place, we're looking for basically 5 waves to the upside to complete this sequence here, and then this is where we will have a very large correction here, bringing all the way back down to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. So within that, now let's just go into the 2-hour chart, I suppose, or maybe even 15 minutes. Now, with these structures coming up through here, I mean, each country is being affected differently by the Greece situation and whatnot. So I've also counted up here on the European markets and the US markets all slightly differently. So yeah, look, they're just sort of ideas, and we can work through them. And at the end of in hindsight, just going to say, oh yes, well that's pretty obvious, isn't it, Pete? You know, we go, yeah, right. So yeah, but look, in a bit of a nutshell here, we're looking for 5 waves up through to here somewhere. And then we're just basically looking for a correction here, and once this wave is completed, wherever it may be here, let's just say it goes to 6.5 here, then it's possible for this to kick back, somewhere in this vicinity here before we see further upside there. So be mindful of that. Let's just see what I've done on the 15-minute chart here. Okay, a slightly different count once again. So yeah, so I've got wave 1 and 2 here. Yeah, I'm not sure the best way to count all of this, but I've got the whole 3rd wave all the way up here, and the 4th wave here, and the 4th wave can also go to here as well. But I was thinking that a 1, 2, 3 cross for 4, and then up for 5 here. That's my sort of thinking, and then some type of correct. Now it may not come back here, but I just really, we need to be aware that, well, hell, it can come back that far. So yeah, need to bear that in mind. I think if you were fortunate enough to catch the move up, well, terrific. And normally we would take profit at 11,500 and then sit and wait for the correction. And once the correction matures to a point that you actually know rather than guessing, then you can move back into it. And if you're unsure, then we still need to wait for some type of correction and then support. Okay, so yes, you can get in lower if you understand the structure here, which should be quite simple. It should just be an ABC pattern. It should be kind of that would be basically the fingerprint of a wave 2 within this particular structure here. So it should be a 5-wave, 3-wave, and 5 waves, wherever that may come down to. Maybe just the 11.2 there. I'm not quite sure. We just need to read the play as it unfolds. Okay, so that's the DAX. Let's look at the FTSE. Find that, the UK 100, UKX, whatever they call it. So I've just gone straight to the 15-minute chart here, and I'm not sure if I've got this count right. This is kind of lagging behind the DAX in a sense. But once again, I've got, because it's different, because from wave 2 here, I've got wave 1 and 2. Maybe I've got 3, 4, and 5 here. I don't know. It's just a little bit, it's all sort of squashy in here. So I've decided to label 1 and 2. That's clear. 3 to here, 4 to here, 5 to here for wave 3. Wave 4 can retest the top of 650 here, which is 65 is always an important number, and and then move up from there. So look, the worst that could happen here is probably a retest of the demand area here, the support, and then up. Now, this level here, 6.8, always consider 8 a profit-taking number, and so that's what, and we can see that occurring here already with the sell-off here. So we're going to see it again here. So once again, as the other markets find their resistance levels, they will be sold off too. So that's the situation here. And the what else? I was going to look at something else, not to worry, but anyway, the AEX. I like the AEX because it's, the pattern that came down through here is much more corrective. This move here, for instance, and you could label this A, B, and C differently. You could have the A wave here as such, but and I think that's a better fit. I did that with the French market, the CAC, so and we can look at that too, but either way, it counts quite nicely as a corrective pattern, but we do really want to see a new high made here. Then that would cancel out any possible bear potential here. But once again, we're looking at wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up in this area here. And so let's go in and have a bit of a look at that here. Might have to go to the 15-minute chart. Sorry about squashing up like that. It just does that. So and I've got it labelled that ABC like that there, but that's okay. So in this case here, I was looking at it slightly different in terms of, well, pretty much the same. 1 and 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it counts quite nicely like that for this wave 3 and 4 here. So then wave 4 coming back and testing 480 to 475 sort of area here, and then a move up from that point there. Let's just see if I've got a 15-minute chart here, which can sort of help nail it down a little bit better. Okay, so let me just have a look at this here. So wave 4 low here, 15-minute chart. So we can start to see that that it's about right here. This counts quite clean actually. So once again, in this third wave here, I don't have a problem with wave 1 or 2 here, or wave 1 or 2 here. Wave 3 here could actually be wave 3 at the top here. So 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's all like sort of even just there, isn't it? Like a third wave, but then it's too small. I need to do a bit of work on this, but anyway, that's what we can do for the time being. We should still see a little push up here, but we definitely look for, a bit of a sell-off here as well. I need to, if somebody else has done some work on this, then shoot me an email, let me know, but I'll move into that and have a closer look. Okay, so the S&P 500. Now, this has probably got the worst count of all, going up off the low here. Now, also too, the counting of all of this here, even though that let me just check on here before I open my gob too much. Let me just check. Yeah, I mean, this was the actual low here. So, on the cash market. So technically, we really need to consider this the low here. However, it just sort of counts better as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here for wave 4, and then down for wave 5 here. This move can count as wave 1 and back for wave 2 and wave 1 and wave 2. But in some cases, if I look at this particular pattern here in some other markets, it's even got, maybe European markets, other markets, it's got this one here as the low or this one here as the low. So I'm not really sure where this sort of all fits in just yet. So, yeah, and also what it does too, it kind of, makes, it can make all of this here a bit of a corrective rally here as well. Now, I've labelled it all as an impulse wave in line with the European markets, and I feel that's right, but at the same point, we need to know at what point we would be wrong at, and it would become a bearish below subgroup 2. Subgroup 2 is 65, 72 and 80. In this case here, we could point to this low here at 260. But if it comes into this sort of area, if the 72 becomes the retested resistance, then we need to be looking at short trades from that point there, and we would have to label this, because this 2100 here, the market needs to find support on that, because this is the 61.8% retracement level from this top here. So realistically, this could be wave 1 down here, coming back for wave 2 here, and then rolling over for wave 3. So I don't know that yet, but looking at the markets in general, then we still have further upside to travel. But until we get a nice tested support on top, because I don't have a very good impulse wave structure here. It could be corrective, or it could be an impulse wave that's incomplete and is going to move much higher, hopefully. So, because it's nice to be on the right track, isn't it? It doesn't matter which side we're trading. It's just good to be on the right side at the right time. So, look, this is not as bullish as the other markets, but the aim is that we want to see 2100 as the support, and it's going to be a struggle here. Just because the market pops its head up here doesn't mean very much at all. We're going to see, because it's a 61.8 retracement level, it will try and fill this gap over here. There's a trend line coming through the top here. The numbers, it's a big number. It's a minor trading level 1. 1's the strongest number in the market. So there's a lot going on in this little space here. So we're going to have to give it time, and so I won't have any answers for a little while here. But look, based on the European markets as a template, it's looking quite positive to the upside. And in counting this on a 15-minute chart, I just don't know. That's the thing. It's not. I don't know where the low is, so to speak. The other day we were looking at, we talked about the Dow Jones transports, and I think that that's a good market to look at in that sense, and on that market, I think it's got this one here as the low here, touching on 8,000. So, and it's building a nice impulse wave to the upside. So, it's a shame that the Dow Jones transports is not on this charting program, but have a look for yourself. You can have a look at it on those free charts out there, big charts or whatever, and get a bit of a feel for it. Look, this particular wave count here, this is how I've done it. I don't know if it's actually correct or not. I don't know if this is an impulse wave to the upside or a corrective rally. All we can do is monitor the situation, and at this stage, a move back below the 265, 260 sort of area down here would be detrimental and would put us in a bear market scenario. But so look, while it's above 272, then it's long from that point to the upside. So, and this is the best fit that I can see so far from here. But be it right or be it wrong, I can't say such. So there's just steps. So 50, group 2, and then this one here, which is a bigger number as support. So that's all you can do, and lift your stops up as you go, and take profit at these numbers, and then wait for support, and then add back into that. So just working the levels, working the stairs, whatever. The Dow Jones, we'll have a quick look at that, and obviously that's in the same situation as well. So in this case here, the good news here is it's popped its head through the 61.8% mark. But I'd expect that because, markets always get, numbers are magnets, and the more square the number is, be it even or whole number and so forth, they'll pull the market to those numbers, and this is what's happening here. Once again, this trend line here is just a simple trend line that I've taken from the bottom here through here, and then lifted it up through here. I don't know if I can bring it all. I haven't got enough data on this chart at this stage to do that, but that will be significant here. But once again, as all markets are dealing with, well, most markets are about to work through large numbers, so they're all going to be dancing the same tune, and there's nothing we can really do about it until they mature a little bit, and we can say, well, the move down here is actually corrective, so we're going to be making new highs. That's about the best we're going to do at this stage. Alrighty, well, short and sweet, and yeah, all good. Cheers.